Surprise! I'm pregnant. Actually, by the time you're seeing this, it's not really a surprise because I already posted my baby. So you guys are like living in the future and know way more than I do at this point. But let's back up and start from the beginning. Hey, Ruthie here, and welcome back to my channel. By now, you all know my big surprise. I am actually pregnant with baby number 3, and by the time this video goes live, baby number 3 is already here. So you guys know the gender and when the baby was born, things that I have no idea about. Now, I have made the decision to not share this pregnancy on any kind of social media platform, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. And that is purely my decision. I didn't share my pregnancy with my daughter, my son, or this baby until the baby's here. It's not like I'm hiding these pregnancies. I definitely tell people when they see me or my coworkers or things like that. I just don't really want to share it all publicly until the baby's here. You never know what could happen during pregnancy, and if I'm not ready to share if something bad happens, I don't really want to share something good until I am more comfortable. So that's just a decision I make, and guess what? If you choose to post as soon as you get your positive pregnancy, great for you. If you choose not to share it until the baby's here, also great for you. However, I love these type of videos. I love to learn about pregnancy and things like that. So I figure, while I may not be sharing this in real time, I do want to film some of this content and share it once the baby is here. So today I am like in the middle of my second trimester. I think I'm like, hold on. It's so funny. With your first, I feel like I knew exactly how many weeks, days, hours I was pregnant. And as you kind of do this a few times, kind of forget. But I'm about 5 months. I think I'm 24 weeks. So I'm right in the middle of my second trimester, and I figured today I would share with you some of my symptoms that are happening and kind of give you like an intro pregnancy video. But I do plan to have other videos around kind of preparing for baby, whether it's postpartum or decluttering or any of those type of things. So I'm hoping to have a lot of content, and then I'll post it once the baby's here. This is baby number 3. I have currently a daughter who's going to be 5 by the time this baby is born, and a son who's going to be 3 by the time the baby is born. My first 2 were 22 months apart, and this baby and my middle child are going to be like 3 years and maybe 4 months, so definitely a bigger difference, but still I'm gonna have 3 under 5, which sounds like a handful. And there are a few things I'm doing differently this pregnancy. Number 1 is I'm not finding out the gender. With both my kids, I took genetic tests pretty early, and so I was able to find out the gender at like 9 or 10 weeks pregnant. Since I already have a boy and a girl, this time around I'm adamant about not finding out, to the point that at my 20-week ultrasound I kept my eyes closed when she was in that area, just to make sure I don't spoil the surprise for myself. This is most likely my last baby. I really feel like our family will be complete once this baby is here, and I just want to enjoy kind of getting excited for the baby and not really focusing on whether it's a boy or a girl, whatever the gender may be. I also think that as an adult, there are very few surprises. Okay, there may be surprises, but most of them are bad, right? Your property tax bill is too high, your HVAC stopped working, you have some bad disease. Usually they're bad surprises. So if I have an opportunity to have one more good surprise in my life, I want to have that surprise. That's my number 1 thing I'm doing differently. The other thing is I'm definitely stocking up on maternity clothes. I don't know why, but every single pregnancy I only buy a few items. And by this time, I should have a full wardrobe of pregnancy and maternity clothing, but I don't, because I always try to kind of make it work. And this time around, I was like, screw it. I'm gonna go and have all my comfy clothes and make sure I am comfortable, because pregnancy number 3, you are showing like this. I swear, 9 weeks, I was already pregnant. I am only 5 months and I feel huge. And don't worry, I will show the bump at the very end of this video. But let's talk about how this pregnancy is going. So let me take you back to end of 22, which is when I found out I was actually pregnant. We went on a family vacation And on the way back that day, I was thinking maybe there's a small chance I was pregnant. Keep in mind, this was only 3 weeks after my period. So I was like, there's no way I can get a positive pregnancy test. But for some reason, I decided I want to take it. So after a full day of traveling with little kids and, you know, being all stressed, finally at like 10 p.m. we were home, the kids were in bed, and I decided to take a pregnancy test. And everything tells you, A, don't take them so early. Usually you should do it like on your missed period or maybe a few days before. And B, take it first thing in the morning. So I broke both of those rules, and to my surprise, it was positive. I was blown away. I took the one that's like the lines, and I did have a digital one, so I was like, okay, the next morning I'll take a digital one, and sure enough, the next morning, the digital one said I was positive. I could not believe it. I mean, I knew there was a chance, but like this early on, I was like, what is happening? So of course, I called my doctor, and this was around the holidays, so I think they were closed, and then they finally got my doctor's office, and they were like, we can't schedule you until your missed period. And at this point, I still haven't missed my period, but I was like, but I have positive pregnancy tests. They're like, no, you have to call us back once it's missed. So then I finally had the day of my missed period. I called them back, and they won't schedule me until after 8 weeks. I think this is like a post-COVID thing. Finally, I was able to schedule an appointment for 9 weeks pregnant. So I found out at 3 weeks, I had this whole 6-week limbo where I think I'm pregnant. I probably take a few pregnancy tests in between, but I still haven't heard the heartbeat, met with the doctor, or anything to really confirm that I am. And as soon as I found out, I was immediately sick. I mean, the morning sickness this time around was next level. I was so sick all the time. Now, there are different types of morning sickness. A, it doesn't just happen in the morning. For me, it's like all day. I wake up in the morning feeling my best, and as the day goes on, I get worse. And once it hits me, it will last until I go to bed. So I don't know who calls it morning sickness or why. B, it doesn't just mean that you throw up. I don't actually throw up a ton. I think I threw up maybe like 10 times. But you're just constantly nauseous. You can't do anything. You have zero energy. It is terrible. Like, my first trimester was brutal. Like, my husband had so many nights that he had to take care of both of the little kids because I just had zero energy to do anything and could not do anything. And because I found out early, my husband kept telling me and making fun of me that they're twins. And I was so nervous. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're expecting twins, I'm so excited for you and all those things. But the idea of twins was really nerve-wracking to me. I mean, I was gonna go from 2 to 4, that's crazy. And so I was really hoping it was not twins. Luckily for me, at my first OB visit, I found out it was just one, and I was a little bit more relieved. So I have no idea why I was so sick so early or why I found a pregnancy test so early. It just happens, I guess, sometimes. I don't know. But prepare yourself. If you do test early and you do want to have twins, don't get too excited and hope that that's a sign for twins, because I don't think it necessarily is. Anyway, my first trimester was basically all sickness, and I would go to my doctor's appointments. There were definitely lots of blood tests, like way more than I expected. I feel like the first 3 appointments I had some kind of blood test drawn. And my morning sickness lasts until I'm about 18 weeks. It's pretty consistent with all my kids, and that's just the reality. But once I hit that 20 week, it is like nirvana. From 20 weeks to about 30 weeks is the best I will feel in my pregnancy. Hands down, I always know that's the case. And it really is. I am now able to work more. I'm able to be present with my kids. I'm doing all the things. Sure, I'm still pregnant, and sure, it's taking a toll on my body, but I am feeling so much more like myself. What are my second trimester symptoms? Number 1 is definitely the heartburn. I feel like that starts early. It just keeps going. Like I said, I'm showing a lot earlier, so my back was hurting a lot sooner. My belly's hurting a lot sooner. My boobs are huge a lot sooner. So all the things, I feel like with each pregnancy, you're just showing faster, and it just happens quicker. As the morning sickness goes away, the pregnancy insomnia shows its head. And yeah, basically in the middle of the night from like 1 to 5, I basically can't sleep. And it is so frustrating because you're so tired. So I am taking Unisom. I took it with all my other pregnancies to just help me sleep through the night. Now, I am not a doctor, so all of these things are just what works for me. Definitely talk to your doctor and do what makes sense for you. My baby's due early September, and just really excited for this pregnancy. So yeah, let me show you the bump. So here is my bump. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.